The people of Israel once again turned away from God, so he let the Philistines rule over them for 40 years. During this time there was a man named Manoah from the tribe of Dan. His wife was unable to have children, but one day an angel of the Lord appeared to her. The angel told her that she would have a son. This child would be special. He must never drink wine, eat unclean food, or have his hair cut, because he was chosen by God to save Israel from the Philistines. The woman told her husband about the angel's message. Manoah prayed and asked God to send the angel again to teach them how to raise the child. God answered his prayer, and the angel returned. When Manoah realized this was an angel from God, he wanted to prepare food for him. The angel told him to offer a burnt sacrifice to the Lord instead. As the flames rose from the altar, the angel went up in the fire and disappeared. Manoah and his wife were amazed. Manoah was afraid and thought they would die because they had seen an angel of God. But his wife wisely said, "If God wanted to kill us, he would not have accepted our offering or given us these promises." In time, the woman gave birth to a son and named him Samson. He grew up strong, and God blessed him. The Spirit of the Lord began to work in him, giving him great strength. When Samson grew up, he wanted to marry a Philistine woman. His parents were unhappy about this, but Samson insisted. On his way to visit her, a young lion attacked him. The Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he tore the lion apart with his bare hands. Later, he found honey inside the lion's dead body and ate it. At his wedding feast, he told a riddle about the lion and the honey. When his wife tricked him into revealing the answer, Samson became angry. He left the wedding, and his wife was given to another man. When Samson later returned to see his wife, her father refused to let him in. He had given her to someone else. Furious, Samson caught 300 foxes, tied their tails together with torches, and set them loose in the Philistine fields. The fire destroyed their grain, vineyards, and olive groves. In revenge, the Philistines burned Samson's wife and her family. Samson then attacked them and killed many of them before escaping to a cave. The Philistines went to Judah and demanded that the Israelites hand over Samson. Afraid, 3,000 men of Judah found Samson and said, "The Philistines rule over us. What have you done?" Samson answered, "I only did to them what they did to me." The men of Judah promised not to harm him, but tied him with new ropes and brought him to the Philistines. As the Philistines ran toward him, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson, and he broke the ropes like burnt thread. He saw a jawbone of a donkey on the ground, picked it up, and killed 1,000 Philistine men with it. After the battle, he was extremely thirsty and cried out to God. God made water flow from a rock, and Samson drank until he regained his strength. Samson led Israel for 20 years, using his God-given strength to fight the Philistines. But his weakness for Philistine women would soon lead to his downfall. One day, Samson went to the city of Gaza and spent the night with a woman there. When the Philistines heard about it, they planned to trap him and kill him in the morning. But at midnight, Samson got up, tore the city gates off their hinges, and carried them to the top of a hill far away. The Philistines were amazed and frustrated because they could not defeat him. Later, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah, who lived in the valley of Sorek. The Philistine rulers came to her with a plan. They offered her a huge amount of silver if she could find out the secret of Samson's strength. Wanting the money, Delilah agreed. She asked Samson, Tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and controlled." Samson lied to her and said, "If I am tied with 7 fresh bowstrings, I will become weak like any other man." That night, while he slept, Delilah tied him up with bowstrings. Then she shouted, "Samson, the Philistines are here." Samson easily broke the bowstrings, proving his strength was still with him. Delilah was upset and said, "You lied to me. Tell me the real secret." Samson teased her again and said, "If I am tied with new ropes that have never been used, I will be weak." Delilah tried again, but when the Philistines attacked, Samson broke the ropes just as easily. She begged him again, and Samson told her, "If you weave my hair into a loom and tighten it with a pin, I will be weak." She did this while he slept, but when he woke up, he pulled his hair free and remained strong. Delilah was frustrated. She nagged Samson every day, saying, "If you really love me, you will tell me the truth." Finally, Samson gave in. He told her, "My strength comes from my hair. If my hair is cut, I will lose my power because I am set apart for God." That night, while Samson slept on her lap, Delilah called a man to shave off his hair. When she shouted, "Samson, the Philistines are here," he woke up, but this time his strength was gone. The Philistines captured him, gouged out his eyes, and took him to Gaza in chains. They made him work like a slave, grinding grain in prison. But his hair began to grow again. One day, the Philistines gathered in their temple to celebrate their victory over Samson. Thousands of people, including their rulers, were there, worshiping their god, Dagon. They brought out Samson to make fun of him. Blind and weak, he was led to stand between the pillars of the temple. Samson prayed, "Lord, remember me. Give me strength one more time so I may avenge myself on the Philistines." He placed his hands on the pillars and pushed with all his might. The temple came crashing down, killing everyone inside, including Samson himself. In his death, Samson destroyed more Philistines than he had in his entire life. His family later came and took his body, burying him in his father's tomb. Now, I want to ask you a question. What you learn from this story? Comment below and subscribe to our channel.